Everybody, I am back at chemo for round 4, so I have 6 total, so I am over halfway after this one, so that's progress. Sorry to be at chemo when I'm doing this again, whispering quietly or whatever, but so chemo day is actually the day I feel the best because I am the furthest from the last poisoning, so I am very tired on Benadryl though, so my eyes feel very heavy. But anyway, I wanted to catch all up on a few things. First and foremost, I will tell you why I wear the same shirt in all the pictures of me getting chemo. I didn't want to buy a bunch. They're expensive. They're like $60 shirts, but it's a chemo port shirt, and it unzips on both sides, as you've probably seen, so that they can access it better. Either that or, like, my dad wears a button down, but I don't really have any button downs because of large breasts. That I'm getting treated now, but anyway, so I got one, but I wash it. I assure you, I wash it. It's only every 3 weeks. I have time, so that was the first thing. This is my hipster look. I think I'm doing hipster. I'm not really sure how to wear a beanie. It's not my look. I don't do hats well, but and I know I said I like to dress up. I still got pretty earrings on, and I got makeup on, but I'm getting hot flashes now. Chemo puts you into like an immediate menopause versus immediately lose estrogen and stuff versus having menopause over 5-10 years or whatever. So she said that would be fun, and it's kind of started, but it's nothing like the steroids. I had to put a whole bunch more makeup on just to talk to y'all because I already have my tomato face because I take steroids the day before. I take a lot the day before, and then I'm getting them right now and stuff like that. But this last time, I had new symptoms. They were different. Like I felt drunk some of the time. I felt very wobbly. I mean, I scooted down the stairs instead of walking at one point because my legs didn't feel like they were going to carry me, and just like wobbly, and like I said, that uncoordination and that chemo brain. I still have it some, but it is a lot better after I stopped taking one of the drugs, the gabapentin. I think I told you about. It's like a nerve medicine, and that was to help that whole werewolf thing I talk about with the whole, joints and bones and stuff like that, and muscles. And so I stopped taking that with her because she gave me a new drug that is for people who, she said it's good for people who have some cessation of estrogen, and that's what gives you this old lady feel of like your joints aching, and it takes a while to get out of the chair and all that other stuff. And then I'm kind of like, you've been holding out on me? Like, why didn't you give me that first? But she was like, well, I should try gabapentin as a first thing. But I took like 1,500 milligrams a day, and I felt fine, so I didn't cut back because I thought those were all chemo things. She said it was probably a little bit of chemo, a little bit of GABA. But I quit the GABA and I felt so much better. Like I can go up the stairs, down the stairs. I mean, I'm tired, so my legs are definitely weaker, but she told me how to get physical therapy, so I have that coming up. I don't want to do that. I'm sure it's lame. It's always lame, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna humor her. I'll at least get whatever they want me to do. I'll take home and do it there. But yeah, so I had to see her special because my neuropathy was lasting longer than it normally does, and with that, she was gonna postpone this treatment, which is never good. That having to push it back, and she was talking about other things which would not be as curative if I had to quit or whatever, which I didn't want, but the neuropathy did leave, and the other feelings feel better. I'll still go to physical therapy, so she has new drugs and another game plan, so fingers crossed, but I'll be done by the time we get the drugs sorted out, so it's going to be miserable. I am convinced that there are oncologists in hell giving people chemo as torture. I think that probably goes on down there. Yeah. So, but it's helped, but we're gonna get through it. That's it's temporary, right? So anyway, Dad's good. Dad is doing chemo the same day as me right now, so we're Twinkies. Every now and then we like coincide, but since he's doing it weekly, I'm gonna coincide because he's getting his second dose of the one that he has to do weekly for 12 weeks. So he has that weekly for 12 weeks, then he has radiation. And then he takes his targeted therapy versus me getting it intravenously right now. He takes a pill, which is what most people do when they have the estrogen type. They take a pill to suppress estrogen for 5 years or 10 years, depending. So he'll have to do that. but after radiation, the hard part's over. So it's good, and he's doing okay. What else was I going to tell you? So yeah, so there were some weird new symptoms, got that sorted. Oh, I was calling. So the big news that I wanted to talk to y'all about is I had my midway appointment with the breast surgeon. The one I saw initially that had Judy, the nurse navigator. Some of y'all asked me what happened to Nurse Judy. So Nurse Judy works with the breast center that has the breast surgeon, and they have oncologists. But if you watch my video where I talk about how I asked if he was a good oncologist, I mean, they have multiple ones, but I asked if they were good, and she was like, well, and I went, nope. And so I found out who the best one was, and I went to her, but she's in a different practice, but they work together. Well, they all know each other, so they had no problem with that. So I don't see Judy because I'm not at the breast center, and she only does the navigating there. So she wouldn't know what was going on with the oncology as much. Sorry, my contacts are dry. I will see Judy again now that I'm having surgery. So I saw her. They were like, well, I'm going to get Judy to come and talk to you. And I was like, Judy. And by the way, even though when I saw her that once, I was in shock from being told I had cancer, I still was pretty dang on. She still looks like a fairy godmother to me. She's got the bob gray hair, and she's, you know, like plush. She's plush, big boobs and stuff, like a huggable grandma, you know what I mean? Anyway, she was lovely. She brought me a folder apparently I was supposed to get, but because I did a telehealth on my second visit or something, I didn't get my binder. It had a lot of stuff about what I already know, but then it kind of depressed me again because she's like, you have this type, it's aggressive, this one says it's growing fast, this one says it's differentiated, it looks like less and less like a breast cancer cell, blah, blah, stuff we already knew, and I was like, yeah, that's it. But anyway, but I got a surgery date as well, so my surgery will be December 1st. I will get a double mastectomy with reconstruction at the same time. So I have decisions to make, but it looks like I'm just going to do double mastectomy and they're going to take everything, because you have to have other additional surgeries if you're going to do it differently. But I'm going to I meet with a plastic surgeon, and once I do that, I will know more. And my husband said he would feel the boobs and do all that stuff because he's not doing it. I'm like, you promise you're gonna? So, because he kept not giving me an opinion, and you know, I was like, you know, what do you think about this? And he's like, whatever you want, whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you feel good. And I'm like, I know that's the right answer, but it's not the right answer. Like, I really need help with the decision. And so I told him, I said, if you don't help me, I'm gonna get like a National Geographic nipple that's like this big and really dark. And he's like, okay, you know. So I said, you're gonna help me, you're gonna lift the things because you're supposed to squeeze it and you like determine the size, and then you got like the nipple tattoo if you do that, or if you just stay like a Barbie doll with the Barbie boobs, I don't know. Anyway, so we have a lot of decisions to make on that, but it seems like it all goes fast. I mean, she made like 5 appointments when they were really fast, but Judy was lovely. But that's why I don't see her. That's why you don't hear about her. So the good news is, though, the midway point is that they were going to do a check to see what the tumor looked like. Now, the oncologist already said she couldn't feel it anymore, so on a confirmation, the breast surgeon did a sonogram, and they placed 2 clips, if you recall. So they did 3 biopsies, but they had 2 clips in there, and so they find the clips, and then look around it, because that's where the cancer was. Because when it disappears, you can't see it. Go ahead, it's facing me. So when it disappears, there's nothing left to see. So it needs to be in this area. Anyway, so when she looked, she couldn't see it at all. So from 8 centimeters to not visible, and which means, it doesn't mean I'm cancer free. There's a good likelihood, but they have to look at, pathologically, they have to test the area, because cells are really tiny. But it does mean, though, that this combination is working for the lock. If you remember that reference I had before, if you remember that analogy that I made before about it being a lock, that you had to find the right combination, that means that this regimen of drugs, albeit awful, is actually working and it's responding really well. So we don't change our game plan. So if it hadn't looked like that, it wasn't responding, then we would change the drugs we use. Only to some extent. There's only a few for my type, but they could do different things and different mixtures and different amounts. So anyway, so that's great news. We'll know more when she cuts into me. She'll take sentinel nodes, and she'll test those, and we'll find out if they had cancer. And so having radiation is TBD based on what they find with that. And they also test the area the tumor was in to see, you know, if there was still cancer pathologically, because that's going to determine which drug I take for about a year. There's a first line is what I'm doing right now. I'm calling it first line, they're not, but this is like the one you start out with. These are the really good ones and stuff like that. Other than the one isn't good, but it's more of a second line. And if you have advanced cancer or you have a stubborn stuff, I mean, it's not, this combination is not working. And so if there is cancer still in the pathology, then I'll be doing that one. They'll switch to that drug, so a different combination for the lock. You know what I mean? So they'll try another combination, see if that does the same kind of thing. So anyway, so it's actually really good news. Gives me a lot of great hope. So